Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Tensura x COTE, The God and the Genius by Tempest_Moon. Chapter 6. Club Fair. Kiyotaka Pav Rimuru, Horikita and I left the classroom after the class ended. We headed towards the gymnasium where the event are going to be held. During our walk, I kept a close eye on Rimuru as I was still figuring out how to deal with her. What approach should I take? Do I keep this appearance up? If so, for how long? Rimuru was too much for my nerves to handle. If I could only figure out what she wanted, then I can use that to my own advantage. But the way she acts towards me is chaotic that I can't even match her pace. Hey, what are you looking at for? Have you fallen for me now? See what I meant? What is this girl even talking about? No, nothing, it's just that you look quite beautiful. Is that it, how you do it? I heard that girl often falls in love by sweet words, so I tried doing what I found on the internet. Oh my. What a clever little guy you are. For someone who's having a hard time making friends, you don't seem to lack any restraints when making advances, are you? She just grinned at me while occasionally letting out a laugh. Horikita, on the other hand, was surprised by my response. Is that a weird thing to say? I know, Koji, aren't you a bit bold with that statement of yours? What are you talking about, Horikita? What I said was the truth, right? She's beautiful. Whether if my words held my true feelings or not, it's an undeniable fact that Rimuru's beauty was on another level. Her medium-sized chest and her figure was so feminine that you can call it perfect in the eyes of any young boys. Thank you, Kyo, but just a reminder for you, I'm not interested in that. Did I just get my first rejection? I don't feel anything at all though. Some say that if a person got rejected by someone they confessed to, was going to be hurt for a long time. But for me, there was no pain at all. I'm sorry. I'm not though. Come on. Don't bring down the mood, will you? The program was already starting. Rimuru dragged me by the hand along with Horikita. She widened her eyes for some reason when Rimuru also grabbed her arms. Looks like she acts like this with everyone she's close to. Seeing her like this made me wonder, what's with her? There's a part of me saying that she's just a beautiful girl who does not care about the standing of who she is acquainted to, but a part of me also screams that I should just keep my guard around her. Good day everyone. My name is Tachibana, the secretary of the student council, and I will be the one starting this event. I would like to welcome you all in the club fair with the hope that you will find the most suitable group for you to spend your time with. With such introduction coming from the stage, all the noise before suddenly subside. To begin this program, there's a lot of available clubs that want you freshmen to join, so please let's hear a round of applause for the representatives of those clubs. As she commanded, a loud round of applause erupted in the gymnasium and the beginning of the introductions was being made. When I looked at my side, I see Horikita standing still and looking at the stage with a more serious look on her face. Horikita, is there any problem? She did not respond to me, and I saw Rimuru also curving her eyebrows as our gazes met. There must be a problem if she's acting like this. I turned my gaze towards the stage and saw a man standing still without letting out even a single word. It's going to be fine, okay, don't piss yourself. Did he forgot his notes or something? Looks like he turned into a statue. Laugh came from the first grader after hearing those insulting words. Horikita didn't break her gaze towards the man on the podium, but I can see a different feeling coming out from her. The man didn't say anything and was unfazed by the sudden laughter. What's wrong with him? Yeah, he's weird. After their laughter died down, a tense pressure was filled in the gymnasium. Everyone went quiet, and that's when he started talking. Good day everyone. My name is Horikita Manabu. I am the student council president. It is nice seeing everyone here. His words carry authority and his posture looks like a man who holds power within the people. Horikita. After hearing his name, I suddenly realized something. I looked towards Horikita, but nothing changed. I saw Rimuru, and I can clearly tell that she also understood the situation. The student council is looking for students that will replace the third years. But, if you want to join the student council, there are requirements that must be met to enter. If you want to apply and you didn't met our standards, then please don't apply. Also, if you already have a club, you're no longer allowed to join in. His voice was soft, but the tension he emits are cold. No one dared to speak up and everyone listened to his words. Horikita. What's wrong? I asked her despite knowing the reason why. The program finally came to an end but Horikita was still stuck frozen on her foot. Kyo, I think you know the reason, right? So let's leave her be for now. Rimuru told me while looking at Horikita, which wore a complicated look on her face. Yeah, you're right. Before Rimuru could respond, I heard someone spoke to me from behind. Yo. Ayanokoji, you're joining a club too? It was Sudo and two of our classmates, Ike and Yamauchi. No, I just came here to look around, that's all. What about you? Have you found anything interesting? Yeah. I joined the basketball club. I've been doing basketball ever since I was little, so I decided to join here too. That's great. While me and Sudo was talking, Ike and Yamauchi's eyes was fixated on Rimuru. Tempest-san. It's nice seeing you here. About my previous confession, my feelings did not change and I would like for you to give me the chance to prove it. Ike started off pouring his love towards Rimuru, which caused her to narrow her eyes. I thought I made it clear. Her voice does not show any kindness and it's far different from how she usually acts. This is what I mean. This feeling is what keeps my guard up around her. Ike clearly yelped for a moment after hearing her cold response. Even so, I'll show you that I can be someone that's worth your while. Not backing down, Ike continued to play with fire even if he knew how dangerous it was. Boy, let me tell you one thing straight, I'm not interested. Her voice is low but the power it emits is far stronger than what the president emitted. She's scary. She's truly dangerous. His friends are clearly trying to stop Ike from going forward, in which they have succeeded. Ike stopped himself as he heard the frightening tone of Rimuru. It even sent chills to my spine. Forgive my outbursts. It just annoys me when someone does not understand the word no Kyo. I'll be leaving you for a moment, I have some business to attend. Rimuru politely bowed at us and left. Horikita was no longer standing there when I looked around, so it was just the four of us boys. That was scary, isn't? Sudo, who is usually irritated, was visibly shaken by the events. Right? By the way, Ayanokoji, why is she calling you by that name? Yamauchi, who noticed what Rimuru just called me, asked. Oh, it's just. Rimuru said she wanted to be friends with me and I accepted. Now she's calling me that for some reason. They were clearly surprised by this. I shouldn't have said that. You're friends with her? And she's fine with it? Yeah, I know it's suspicious and I don't trust her at all. But I decided to hold my tongue on that one. Rimuru was a variable that I'm finding a hard time to solve. She's someone that is hard to comprehend and control, that's what I have learned from our previous interactions. Even so, that makes her a perfect pawn. If I could only find out what her weakness was though, I can use her to achieve my goals. That's why I still keep in touch with her even with those uncertainties. Because the fact that she was clearly being too close to me proved that I have a huge chance of manipulating her. You're something else too, aren't you? Anyways, we're adding classmates to our class group chat, so do you mind sharing your contact info to us? I mean, sure. If you want to. Yamauchi then smiled at me and held out his hands towards me. That's great. Give me your contact, I'll add you to our group. I did what he told me and we finished transferring info. That face she made. That was a face filled with contempt and malice, which is a major contrast to her usually kind demeanor. Walking alone, I've started to wonder. A girl with a face of an angel but a personality of the devil. What an odd combination if I think about it. With that I fixed my resolve. Soon, I'll see what you truly are, Rimuru. I finally saw a glimpse of your true self and I know for sure that you are no ordinary girl. Rimuru Pavman, that was annoying. I walked away from them and started heading towards the student council. I almost killed that guy, Master. Killing him is a bit too much, so hold your horses, Seal. Understood. By the way, what is this business you're talking about, Master? Students passed me while staring at my face. I just ignored them as I walked straight to the student council. That guy, Horikita Manabu. He said he was looking for a capable students to apply in the student council, right? I thought I should look if it is something that interests me. Question. Does Master wants to join the student council? It depends. If I saw that it's worth doing it, then maybe I might do so. Understood. Also, if Master was successful in entering the council and become president next year, then maybe we can include your subordinates as part of your staff in there. My subordinates? Have you finished your work already, Seal? Affirmative. Although sadly there are only 4 available bodies that matches our requirements. I was able to incorporate the soul of 4 of your subordinates. Only 4, huh? Well, I guess that's plenty enough. If all of my subordinates got suddenly reincarnated in here, it would cause problems for me without a doubt. Okay, so who was it? It's going to be your 4 primordial demons. Their souls are compatible with the 14-year-old bodies that I acquired. That's bad news. Those 4 are the most troublesome subordinates I have. Especially Diablo. He's gonna go insane if he saw someone make advances on me. Seal. Make sure to turn them into a normal humans, okay? Understood. Although, I think they will be a little bit similar to you, Master. Similar. And why is that? They will live inside the black box facility for the time being. And I assume that they will be exposed to the experiment conducted by the scientists there. Those experiments, huh? When I was still in there, I was subjected to multiple different experiments too. Seal didn't do something about it as she deemed it not harmful but beneficial for me in the future. With those experiments, my body can now handle a normal person will have a hard time dealing with, and I'm also skilled enough to kill. Body strengthening, rigid training and many other methods was used on me. But I endured everything until the very end. But other students from there didn't, and lots of innocent lives were taken. Well, let's forget that for now. Let's see what the president has to say. Putting my past 14 years in the back of my mind, I arrived at the student council room and saw multiple individuals inside. Good afternoon. Sorry to bother you, but I'd like to inquire about your proposal earlier at the event. I put on my friendly act and all attention was now directed at me. So you also want to join? Here, take this and fill it up. If we deemed you worth letting in, I will summon you. The girl whose name was Tachibana handed out a piece of paper that looks like a resume. Okay, thank you. So I have to fill an application before getting in, huh? I looked around and saw the other 2 students looking at me, so I asked. Are you 2 going to join the council? The bald guy was the first to respond. You're Rimuru Tempest, right? From Class D, who perfected every single entrance exam question? It seems like bright minds can also be a delinquent, huh? Delinquent, huh? You're answering my question with a question? Huh, you're a rude one, aren't you? I was a little bit annoyed by his attitude. I am trying to be friendly, but what he was doing was the literal opposite of that. Now. We don't have to fight, don't we? And for your question, Tempest-san, yes, we're joining the council. Is that so? Well, I guess you guys can leave now. I have some important things to talk about to the president. I told them as I showed the door behind me. I see why you're part of that class. You really does reek the smell of a delinquent. A clear, thick mark appeared on my forehead. What's your problem, Baldy? I'm just asking you nicely, but here you are with your offensive approach. I may be bald, but this head contains more knowledge than your tiny brain can comprehend. You may have perfected those exams, but don't let that boost your ego, brat. Not gonna lie, this guy is double my size, but that won't stop me from roasting him up. So I'm the brat now. For a rockhead guy, you sure talk a lot, don't you? And what do you mean you have more knowledge than me? Your head is so solid that the ground will crack if you smashed it using your head. Is that all you can say? Your insult does not carry any weight at all. I guess you're just a spoiled little brat, aren't you? Maybe my words doesn't carry any weight, but my fist sure does. Even if there was a clear size difference between us, my training in that facility is nothing to be laughed at. So you're willing to go that far? Don't say something absurd, kid. You might leave this school crying if you do. You know what? I'm gonna write this guy to my punishment list. I'll let Diablo handle you later, fool. Master, you sound like a delinquent. I do? Before we got into a more heated fight, the girl named Ichinos stopped us. Guys, please. We're in the student council room. If you want to get in, then mind your manners. Well, he started it. That's correct. Your behavior was also a key factor for you to join in, and based on what I'm seeing right now, both of you fall below our standards. The student council president, who was silently watching us, said, Forgive me, Mr. President, but this girl clearly does not deserve any position of student council. Talk for yourself, idiot. That's enough. Both of you are now free to go. Rimuru Tempest, I want you to stay for a bit. So he's not throwing me out. The 2 didn't try to fight against the pressure Horikita exerted and just left politely. I was standing there waiting for what he wanted to say. Tempest. By the way you act earlier, you didn't give in by the pressure Katsuragi showed you, which means you're not easy to shake. Pressure from that guy. I haven't felt a single bit. I was annoyed by his face though. Our work here is much difficult than what you've imagined, but I think you can handle it. What about those two? They seem talented enough, right? Katsuragi and Ichino's is not compatible to be a part of this council. You've made your judgment before they even took those applications, huh? Precisely. You're a different case though. Your academic standing was far greater than any first year's. But it's a question among us on why you're part of Class D. So I've been the talk of the school, huh? I think that's none of your business. Anyway, what is the purpose of making me wait here? Impatient, aren't we? Very well. I'd like to invite you to be a part of the student council. I'll put you on the position of second vice president if you want. A clear invitation for me. That's too good of an offer for me, isn't? What will you gain from doing that? I was starting to feel a little bit suspicious about the president. He must be up to something if he was doing that much to convince me to join. Nothing really. I will just gain another capable student. Ain't that right? Let's see if he reacts with this. I have a scheme running on my mind that I wanted to test out. Well, if that's the case, I might as well be the president next year and defeat the guy you've been hiding from me. He flinched after hearing my words but composed himself afterwards. I knew it. There's more to this than what he tells me. If he wants me to be the second vice president, then there must be wrong with the first one. That's good to hear. I'll be waiting to see how you progress, Rimuru. His face still remained cool as he held out his arms towards me. You know, if you're doing me this favor, then I might as well help you out. What do you mean by that? You rejected those two because you didn't see them fit enough to destroy someone you're aiming for, right? And you're worried that they might get manipulated by the guy you're hiding from me. He let out a smile after hearing those words. That's right. I didn't know you're this perceptive, Rimuru. It looks like my choice was not in vain after all. Those two are part of Class A and B, in which was far higher than our class. But this guy chose me despite the differences between us. I'll play along with what you want. But I want you to do me a favor. And what is that? Look for the files of a student named Ayano Koji Kiyotaka. You can find something interesting about him if you do. Also, keep my admission private for the time being. I'm planning to keep this a secret for now too. So you don't have to worry. After that conversation, I agreed to be a part of the student council and began my plan at hand. Manabu Pav. Is it a good idea to let her in? Are you questioning my judgment? I hear my secretary ask me a question which irritates me. The individual named Rimuru Tempest, a student from Class D who possess the intellect that surpass every entrance exam scores of this year. She's quite interesting among the students in this year, isn't she? Yes, she was. Although her attitude is quite not on par with the student council standards, I guess she could work just fine. You're right. Tachibana, look for the student she just mentioned and gather every information we can get from his files. He might have a connection to her if she went out of her way and told us about him. As you wish, President. She left the room and I was left sitting in my chair. Looks like I finally found someone who's going to bring you down when I leave, Naguma.